Did you ever hear the story of Magmatrooper the Forgotten? Of course not. When he first came around, he was laughed at, beaten, broken. But as time progressed, he got stronger to the point where he can remove all of Turn Meter itself. And now he crushes his enemies, sees them driven before him, and he hears the lamentation of the women.
Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And today we are going to be talking about that little tale from Darth Arnold the Wise and showing you how Magmatrooper could actually be a pretty interesting and viable character in the current meta if used in the correct manner. A lot of you guys know I geared up a lot of the Empire characters, and I geared up Magmatrooper to Gear 10 way back when, and recently I decided to bring him back into Arena because two things. One, my droids are not doing as good on defense anymore, and I went to the 60s one day after being number 1, so that's kind of a big drop. And secondly, after several months of Zeta mats being in the game, I finally went ahead and gave Darth Vader his Zeta. So he's my first character I Zeta'd, and I got a little experimental and I brought Magmatrooper back into the action, and today you will see how he can be pretty viable while at the same time having a lot of fun, especially since I know I will not be getting Death Trooper or Krennic the 7 stars anytime soon. So I wanted to show you guys alternative methods of having fun with free-to-play Empire characters. So let's go ahead, get right into it, and I'm just going to play one of the battles, not talk at all, and when it's done I will come back, tell you what happened and the role that Magmatrooper played in all this. So let's go ahead, play the clip, and we will talk in a few moments here. Alright, come on, you have to admit that was a little fun to watch. You don't really ever see Magmatrooper in Arena, and I thought this was cool to use, and hey, who knows, this might become some sort of a meta, and it's been working very well for me. Not the best lineup in the world, I have to say that, but it has been winning a lot of battles for me. So let me explain how this works. In that clip you just saw before, TIE Fighter Pilot for most battles, unless you have a faster one or a Jawa Engineer, the TIE Fighter Pilot will be one of the first characters to attack in the game. Now when they go ahead and attack, they apply buff immunity quite often. Once Magmatrooper gets some sort of debuff applied to him, or if he resists any sort of debuff, he gains 60% turn meter. That is a huge bump in turn meter from one attack. So assuming the enemy's TIE Fighter Pilot opens up in battle and tries to apply buff immunity to Magmatrooper, whether if it's successful or not, Magmatrooper will be at 100% turn meter after all is said and done, and he will come back and throw his Thermal Imploder, which is his AoE ability, and under a Vader Zeta leader ability, this is amazing. Let me tell you what it's all about. First off, he is guaranteed to remove 30% turn meter, no doubt about that, and then he has a 40% chance to remove another 30% turn meter. And if he's under a Vader lead, even before considering Zeta, Magmatrooper gets another 25% chance to remove 10% turn meter. So before a Vader Zeta ability, he has the potential to remove 70% turn meter from all the enemies on the other team, and that is pretty huge, especially if he goes pretty early in the battle. But if you do have a Vader Zeta ability like I do here, then Darth Vader instead gives Magmatrooper a 50% chance to remove 20% turn meter, and this cannot be resisted. So if he's under a Darth Vader lead, he can hypothetically remove 80% turn meter right at the beginning of the game, and that is pretty darn powerful. And when you remove that much turn meter from the very beginning, a lot of the times the enemy never gets a chance to come back and attack. They're just stuck with all this constant turn meter removal because of Magmatrooper, Darth Maul, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, and everything just starts working in your advantage. I've had a few games where I have a clean sweep because of Magmatrooper going ahead, attacking first, removing turn meter, and the enemy never gets a chance to attack, especially when considering all the other attacks that are following after Magmatrooper. Also, Magmatrooper has a chance to inflict collateral damage on his basic, and what I mean by that is he has a chance to hit a second person, which you will see plenty of times in this video, and it actually has come in handy quite a lot. Under a Vader lead, either Zeta or not Zeta, this means more opportunities to remove turn meter from the others. This also might be slightly bugged, I think, because at times Magmatrooper can remove turn meter off of others even if he did not hit them. And I also have clips here where at the same time he might also remove turn meter off of more than 2 enemies on his basic, and that is pretty crazy, and I think that is for sure bugged because at most he should be removing turn meter off of 2 people on his basic. But this might be a bug overall with Vader's leader ability because I also believe I've seen this happen with other Empire characters doing similar things like Magmatrooper. And even if the other team does not have someone like TIE Fighter Pilot quickly opening the game and applying debuffs, Magmatrooper still can be very viable, and he gets into the action pretty fast if you mod him semi-decently, so he can remove turn meter and all that stuff I just mentioned can follow through afterwards. Now, I know this video is all about Magmatrooper, but let me go ahead and explain the rest of my lineup and how they play in this whole thing after Magmatrooper removes all of that turn meter so everyone else can get in and start having a party. I'm running a 5-star Darth Maul. I've been farming him very slowly through the guild shipments, and I've also been gearing him, just got him to gear 11 about a week or 2 ago, and when he applies daze off of his AoE, this just further helps me control the turn meter, control the counterattacks, control characters like B2 and Biggs. Palpatine is a bit more straightforward. He is in there mainly to get in as early as possible, apply a ton of shock, apply stun, as well as give offense up to your team. Also, another fun fact, if you use Palpatine's offense up ability under a Vader Zeta ability, he can remove turn meter from the enemies. Even though he's not physically attacking them, he is hurting them, giving you a chance to remove turn meter, so that is also pretty big to know. I'm running Baze in this squad. As many of you guys know, around my birthday in November when Baze came out, I got a bunch of iTunes gift cards for my birthday. So between those iTunes gift cards and a lot of farming in the shard shop, I got him and I'm using him, but you can also use Shore Trooper if you have him. That's actually more preferred. I would love to have Shore Trooper. You can run Royal Guard, Sun Fac, Stormtrooper on any sort of tank to kind of just absorb the damage, but obviously Shore Trooper and Baze are your best bets. Lastly is Darth Vader. As I said, I just went ahead, gave him his Zeta ability for his leader, and he just pretty much helps your Empire characters remove a lot of turn meter, gives out extra damage to Empire and Sith, and loads of damage over time that just set things up for him to throw his Culling Blade and get some big damage in. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this little funny video. Magmatrooper never gets 1 second of fame, and I thought this was finally the time because I am having a lot of fun. So if you think you agree with me, go ahead, toss in Magmatrooper in your lineup, and in solidarity, we can go ahead and make Magmatrooper the next meta in this game. For the rest of the video, I will play another battle in Arena, and I will show you the mods on all of these characters. In case you're interested, you want to try to replicate what I'm doing, feel free to do so. And if you ever shared Magmatrooper on social media, always make sure you use the hashtag Magmatrooper the Forgotten. But that's all for today, folks. As always, please go ahead, like this video, comment down below, and subscribe for more Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content. And we will talk again soon. Peace out.
wake up.